Hi, welcome back to YouTube's most superlative channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Classically Abby. I get an occasional ad from her because, not to brag, but Google's ad settings think I have not only men's interests, but also women's interests. It also thinks I'm upper middle class and I enjoy investing and luxury goods, so the algorithm works perfectly. Current college student, no. Your boy graduated. Classically Abby is sort of the Shasta Cola to Girl Defines Coke. She makes videos about her and her life and her conservative views without ever really getting into specifics about them, so that not as much stuff can stick to her. She's almost the opposite of her brother in this way. Oh, and yeah, Ben Shapiro is her brother. Where he'll go into grave detail about why, say, hypothetically, for example, Kamala Harris is a far-left radical who wants to ban straws. Now say I, a conservative, hypothetically want to go to Chick-fil-A, a restaurant, and I use my intuition to tell me that I should not go on a Sunday, as that would be a bad idea. So, I go to Chick-fil-A and I order a lemonade, and I'm not allowed a straw at this point, so how am I supposed to drink it? This is what the radical left wants. This is tyranny. Abby will just say, conservative views, throw a smoke bomb, and get the hell out of there. One of her most viewed videos is titled, Why I Came Out as Conservative, double bar line, conservative women need a community. I also would like to take this time to come out and say that I am a cishet straight white man. I know, how brave of me. Being a conservative is absolutely not the same thing as being gay. I know some people might disagree with you politically if you're conservative, but that's about it. You don't come out as something that people generally accept. You're not going to see a 12-year-old come out to his parents as a Fortnite player. Being conservative isn't going to get you fired from your job, or denied service at a bakery, or profiled by law enforcement. We're at the title, and she's already hitting us with a false equivalency. Also, she made a video called National Anthem Makeup Tutorial, so I don't think anyone was really wondering.
I am an artist, I'm an opera singer, and in an artistic space, it's very difficult to express that you're conservative without A, being afraid that you'll lose jobs, or B, being afraid that you'll lose friends.
So she's afraid of losing jobs or losing friends. But if your belief system would cause people to not want to be friends with you, maybe you take a step back and look at what it is you believe. If you're at a party and you're talking with a new group of people and it's going well, you know, vibes, and then you spill a drink on someone will yell party foul, you'll apologize, you'll try and get them cleaned up, and things will continue as normal. If you're at that same party talking to that same group of people and you're like, I don't know, maybe gay people aren't people? People are gonna take issue with that.
It was a really big lesson for me when I was at the Manhattan School of Music, because I was there for 3 years, and it wasn't until I came out and said that I was conservative that I found out that there were actually more of us than I thought. But we had all kept it secret because we were all afraid of expressing that we actually had a differing viewpoint.
Oh, I also went to college for musical theater, so I feel like I can shed some light in on this. She talks about her fear of people knowing that she's a conservative, the same way that I've heard members of the LGBTQ+ community talk about their fears when they were first coming out. I had a friend who I met my first semester who did drag and ballroom and went to clubs downtown, you know, the whole 9 yards. And you know those nights where you're talking with your friends and everyone's getting really deep into their past and their trauma and what emotional void they're trying to fill, and that's why they decided to become a performer? It was one of those kind of nights. And I remember this friend talking about how he felt he could finally be his true self, and that's why he went out so much. Back home, his parents wouldn't accept him, so he stayed in the closet because he wouldn't have a place to live, or he could get assaulted if he came out. And it wasn't until he came to New York and he was with people who shared his experiences and shared his struggles and accepted him for who he truly was that he felt like he could be his full self, the real person he knew he was all along, but was never allowed to be. But yeah, I'm sure your opinion on lowering taxes and increasing military spending is the exact same thing. Or like I remember another friend who texted me, I was gay growing up. It was difficult actually. When I was in high school, a lot of my friends were not gay, and they thought I was a little bit crazy for being gay. peer pressure was difficult. Except Abby actually said that, except she said the word conservative where I said the word gay.
I was conservative growing up. It was difficult, actually. When I was in high school, a lot of my friends were not conservative, and they thought I was a little bit crazy for being conservative, and peer pressure was difficult.
She doesn't like when people play the victim? Well, she must be the Optima EH412ST, because that's all projection. Also, while we're on the topic, I just want to talk a little bit about WAP. Look at how many goddamn conservatives came out and said, "This song about women enjoying sex is a goddamn crime. It's proof the younger generation is doomed. These are their role models. How dare women express that they enjoy sex?" There was none of this similar outrage when dudes were saying "slob on my knob," or "why don't we do it in the road," or even "save a horse, ride a cowboy." It's only when black women take sexual agency that there's this huge outrage, but I'm sure that's just coincidental. Alright, back on track.
With all of that in mind, I did create a locals community so that we could have that space built in. I want to have some sort of filter so that people who don't share these views of openness and open conversation can't just come in and flood the comments. I want this to be a space that really is safe.
You want a safe space? What are you, some kind of fucking snowflake? You're promoting victimhood. Guess what, sweetheart? The real world isn't like that. The bottom line is, it's time for you to learn that there are tons of differing opinions. If you're not willing to engage with the intellectual community, you're in the wrong place. I wanted to see what kind of community she was cultivating and see if it was actually this safe haven that she had described, so I went over to the locals page she'd created. So I went to try and sign up for the Classically Abby community with Google, got agree to the terms of service, and I got an authorization error. So I went to learn more. I didn't read any of this. I was like, okay, Google doesn't work. That's all I need to know. I'm finally in. I'm finally able to be part of Classically Abby. Oh wait, I gotta authenticate it, because they don't want just anyone getting in. Show location on profile? Fuck yeah, dude. Alright, so I was finally in the community. I was like, alright, great. A little welcome video, a community post. Cool. Keep scrolling, and oh, it's a supporters only post. Oh, another one. Oh, another one. Okay, an Instagram picture. Cool. It's all just supporters only posts. So there's not much of a community if you gotta pay to get in. Yeah, of the first 14 posts that I saw, 10 of them were supporters only. So more than 2/3 of the content that I saw, I needed to pay to get. So I went to her about page. It's not much. I do like this line. Together, let's create a community of like-minded women and find others who share our opinions or disagree respectfully. And we'll get to the disagreeing respectfully in a minute. She also says, I have classic political views and I'm not afraid to share them. But kind of she is. She never gets specific. She just says, I am a conservative, but never goes into like to what degree. And I saw this post that was talking about classic ladies and role models. So I went to leave a comment, but you can't even do that. To post a comment, you have to be a supporter and pay the money. And it's not even that you have to be a supporter to post a comment. You have to be a supporter to view the comments. So I can't even see all these other inspirational classic ladies. And then I was trying to see if there's any way to tell how many members there are. There wasn't any good way. And one thing that annoyed me was that on each page of members, it would show 36, which just feels like a weird number to show. To have a 4x9, it feels you should have like a 4x10 or a 5x10. It just feels like a weird number of people to show on a page. That's totally ancillary, but I still want to complain about it. Oh, you gotta follow Girl Defined 69. Then I wanted to sort by the most liked stuff. You know, what's the really creme de la creme of classicallyabby.locals.com. We got quarantine memes, classic. Saw a poll. I've never been peer pressured about my conservative views, but a majority of people have. I do feel grateful that you're allowed to vote, even if you don't pay money, because, democracy dies in darkness. So making sure all who come to the locals page have the right to vote is very important to me. And you know that the right to vote is important because they want accurate results like this. 103% care about a holistic view of life rather than just their career. Finally, I was like, all right, I guess I should see how much this is so I can maybe leave a comment. And it said at least $10. And I said, oh, okay. Not going to be doing that because unemployment isn't hitting like it used to. Again, I'm not upset that I can't post a comment. Like, that's whatever. It frustrates me that I can't even see what other people are commenting. I want to know, like, what's the tone of this community, and you just can't tell unless you pay money. If you want a community, you can't make the community just full of people who are paying you. You're providing a service at that point. All right, back to more videos. I wanted to watch her conservative woman Q&A to see if I could tell exactly what her beliefs were, and that was largely unsuccessful. So she was telling a very real story about a professor who was talking about bias in news media.
Now, I was in a writing class in college where our teacher had us write on the board left, right, center, and he told us what each news network was. So he said that Fox was right, he said MSNBC was left, and he said Jon Stewart was center.
And she wanted to speak up and say,
Jon Stewart is not center.
But I would have spoken up and said, actually, The Daily Show is a comedy show. Sure, it's about the news, but it's not trying to present the news. It's not trying to just report facts.
The next question is how to wait for marriage to be intimate and how to explain this choice to your in-laws that are not respectful of that decision.
Okay, so first of all, whatever decision you make about intimacy should solely be between you and your partner. And Abby and I agree on this. But who are these parents? What, so you don't want to fuck my kid, huh? My kid's genes aren't good enough to get into your genes? Get the fuck out of here. Go fuck my kid.
That's a great question. As far as waiting to be intimate with your spouse before you get married, there's a few ways that you can prevent that. One is that you should never spend the night at somebody's house that you're not married to.
Come on, no slumber parties?
It's never worth sleeping over because at the end of the day, as you continue to push boundaries, those boundaries are going to keep moving until you're at the end point, and that's not where you want to be.
I hate how she talks about sex like it's inevitable. You and your partner are making a conscious choice if you decide not to have sex. But you're also making a conscious choice if you do decide to have sex. It's a choice that both people need to agree to. It's never, oh, the door's closed now, guess we gotta fuck. She talks about how sex is the point of no return a lot.
So if you date, if you're careful about your physicality, if you really set up strong boundaries, and if you and your partner are on the same page, then you don't have to worry that one of you is gonna push the other one past the point of no return.
You can have sex and then not have sex. I have not had sex a lot. I've flipped off New Yorkers while anxiously driving a U-Haul more times than I've had sex. But I had sex before though.
You can go out and about, right? Go on a date, outdoors, around people, but you're not gonna be able to do anything that gets that far physically. Or if you guys are at your friend's house and you guys are sitting together, that's totally fine. But as soon as that door is closed, things can progress more quickly than you might think.
Never be alone with a person you're in love with or you'll die. How are you gonna talk to this person about like who you really are and what fundamentally makes you if you're never allowed to be alone with them and have those conversations? You have to have time for just you and your partner. That's how you build a relationship. Okay, one more video.
Modesty is about treating your body with respect. It's about recognizing reality, that men are visual creatures, not emotional ones.
I'm a little emotional soft boy. Come on. I'm a man. I am. I know Google says I have women's interests, but I promise I'm a man.
If you are wearing something incredibly revealing, it will be difficult for him to focus on your personality. Instead, he might be focusing on your physical appeal. Of course, there are men who will look at you this way no matter what. But more men will think of you as a sex object if you dress like one than if you dress like a lady.
She entirely shifts how men sexualize women as the fault of the woman, instead of, being the fault of the person who's overtly sexualizing someone.
Women like J-Lo and Shakira dancing in sparkly leotards and being praised for their bodies doesn't really help either. Because at 50 years old, Do you want to be trying to be praised for your body or praised for your family?
Why not both? Why can't moms be hot?
So what's the difference between beauty and sexiness? Beauty is both inside and out.
So is sexiness. Look at this video.
Have you ever spatchcocked a chicken?
That's sexy, and it's not even because she said the word cock.
Want to make the best pasta salad ever? It's Mediterranean style.
See, that's also sexy, and it has nothing to do with how she looks. She acts like women dress solely to get the attention of men, which just isn't true. Sometimes it is, 100%. Sometimes you meet someone and you think they look cute, and so you want to look good for them. If I'm trying to pick up ladies, I always wear my bolo tie. It exudes sex appeal. Look at this strong bull. It implies that, much like the bull, I too have nipples that don't do much. But people dress for comfort, or they dress because they like the way they look in it, or they dress because you had to put a shirt on that day and that was the shirt you had.
So ladies, let's be classic. And let's dress like the ladies we are.
She has such a singular definition of femininity that excludes so many women. It just feels like she thinks her experience of being a woman is what everyone's experience as a woman needs to be. And those who aren't living the same experience are led astray or brainwashed, but they'll be back on the straight and narrow soon enough, when that's just not true. So yeah, I think her content's bad. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, comment, wow, your talking points were all leftist and insane. Just so people really get the vibe I'm going for. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.